Hey everybody, this is Nathan Simmons, and I'm going to be showing on today's video how to use the batch activity, which really is not available on the desktop version, but more so how to filter things and how to kind of sort the leads that you have already claimed and already downloaded for yourself. So hopefully you guys can see my screen by now, but this is what the lead screen is going to look like on the web version of Agent Assist. And I will first off start by saying that the web version is a little bit more limited into how you can sort what you're looking at. It's a little bit more limited rather than the mobile version. But I will show you some of the things that you can do just so you can kind of understand what you're looking at. First off, number one, if you notice, there are some icons to the left of every single business that you may have claimed, and every single one of those means something different. So if you ever want to know what those are, I mean, it's just really kind of a quick snapshot of telling you what those leads are. And so anywhere that you see just a little person like this, that is basically indicating that that lead is considered a new lead. You have not qualified it yet. You have not, it's still at the first step of our prospecting process or our sales process. Anywhere that you see a little Q there with a check mark means that that lead you have qualified. You verified the DM, you verified the number of employees, and you verified the address. It's considered a qualified lead. Anywhere that you see a 1, that indicates that you either currently have a first appointment with that client that you maybe haven't ran quite yet because that date is still coming up, or that's what stage it's at. Maybe you have ran the first, but it hasn't actually gotten to the second appointment yet, or if it will. And then it'll also, so the same thing for, if you have a second appointment, if you're at that stage. And then also, I forget what it looks like whenever you have something enrolled, but you'll be able to indicate that. I believe there's just like an E there to indicate that you've actually gotten it to the point of scheduling an enrollment and they're going to move forward and do business with us. So, but there is one other, icon that you need to be aware of. If you notice, I've actually got one on my map here, is there's a red exclamation point. And that's something that you need to be aware of just because that can mean one of two things. If you see any leads that have that icon on your lead screen, then something needs to be done. So again, it can mean one of two things. Number one, it could mean that the lead is about to expire, or it could also mean that you have some activity that needs to be updated on it that you haven't done so yet. For instance, I'm not going to show you here on this video, but you can, I've got it highlighted over this example lead here that, you can see that the next deal is a DM1. Well, for instance, it may indicate that red exclamation point to where, let's say you've had a first appointment scheduled with a certain client and you went out and ran the appointment, but you never actually went into the app or went into the web version and actually put what the result of that appointment was. Did you, schedule a second appointment? Did you actually complete the appointment? Was it a no-show? What happened? And so if you don't actually, if you've got an activity that is set to happen in your calendar and an appointment is an example of that, and you don't go put in and put what the result of that appointment was, then that red exclamation point will appear on the Agent Assist application, whether it's on the web version or the mobile app. So just be aware of those two things because, you really should never have any red, or at least that's the goal. Because if you have any of that, then, that means that, something needs to be done or there needs to be an action taken. So now, as far as actually getting into how to sort some of these things on the desktop version, it's actually very simple. And again, it is limited, but it's very easy to do to where you can actually, just search leads by name by using the search bar here. If you're wanting to search up a certain business and look up their stuff, you can search by a city. So you wanted to search up Richardson, then it's, going to give me, you can see here, it's got all the leads here in the Richardson area, which is a suburb of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I can also type in a zip code, 75080, which is also the same region there as well. And I can even type in a certain business name. Let's say I was looking up for this Samtex Corporation. and sure enough, it'll filter it, and then I can, click on that. So that search bar can be useful, especially if you've got, a large amount of leads maybe that you've got claimed, and you don't want to have to, scroll forever with your mouse. And so certainly make use of that. But one of the other things, that whenever you're making you're filtering some of your leads, all you've got to simply do, if you maybe want to just understand what you're looking at, is because, currently here, I have an example amount of leads here just for the purpose of this video that you can see. I've got a whole bunch of things, and you can see just by looking at the icons, they're all at different stages of the process. Well, that may not be the best way about, just looking for something and just using the search bar. I guess you could certainly do that, but you can be a little bit more organized and strategic should you choose to do so. And I think it's actually beneficial for you to understand that. So all you've simply got to do is, if you click the filter button, there are a couple of different ways that you can filter your leads that you're looking at. So the first option I'll show is just really, this is more of a sorting tool, to where on the web version, the only 4 options that you have at the moment to be able to sort what you're looking at are these 4 options. So I can actually have my leads sorted in alphabetical order should I choose to do that. And if you see there, I've got the A's up front and then so on. So that may be, something that you might want to do. But I could also filter it let me clear my filters. You could also filter it to show you the leads from newest to oldest. And what that means is the lead that is the newest as far as when you downloaded it, not necessarily, how really it's just an indication of how long you've had the lead. So I've got this filtered from newest to oldest. All my leads at the very bottom are the leads that I have had the longest. And so those are really the only 4 options on the web version of how you can sort stuff. There is much more capability of sorting on the mobile version, which is on another video that I have. So just be aware of that. But a couple things that I want to point out, let's say I don't worry about how I want it to sort. But let's say, all I'm wanting to do, I've got a normal Tuesday afternoon and I don't have any appointments. I'm just going to come into the office and I'm going to do some verification calls to, just do some prospecting and get ready and for my next upcoming call lab clinic. Well, the kind of leads that I would like to call, is if I'm wanting to sit down and do some verification calls or qualifying calls or however you may label it, the kind of leads that I want to be calling are the leads that are new leads. I don't want to call any of leads that I've maybe already qualified or already have appointments with. And so I can actually filter that to show me that, to where I can actually, everything now that I've selected, new leads, I've applied my filters, and now I'll get rid of that box there. Everything that is on my list currently are all leads that I have not been able to qualify or verify yet. And so that way you may not accidentally call somebody that maybe you've already qualified. There's really no reason for me to even want to look at those if all I'm going to be doing on that, sample Tuesday is just to be, doing some prospecting calls and doing those verifications. So that is very useful to do. To the same thought process, let's say I'm coming in on a call lab. I have a day to where I'm going to come in and I'm going to completely devote my time to coming in and setting appointments with potential clients and trying to fill up my week. Well, the way that we do things in our territory is, we would want to have our app only show us leads that we have qualified. That way I know, how many ever leads I've got, and I don't even know for this example how many I have. Doesn't look like I have a ton, but you can see I've got, looks like around 10 to 15 here, that these leads that all have a Q next to them because I've, wanted it to show me all the leads that are qualified, are all showing me, I can know for certain, because I've got these marked as qualified, that when I click on these leads and I get the contact information and I do all that, that I am going to be able to click on this lead and know who I want to talk to or who I'm asking for to talk to, I know is accurate and correct because I'm calling a qualified lead rather than calling somebody who I haven't qualified and crossing my fingers and I hope I'm asking for the right person. So just something that you can do to be a little bit more efficient, efficient whenever you're doing your call clinics and such. And you can obviously see, you can also filter and even have it show you how many leads you have that are maybe at the DM1 process. So you can see I've got 3 leads that are at the DM1 process for this example, and you could even do the same for DM2. So if I scroll down a little bit further, you've also got some additional options to where maybe you could have it show you leads that have some overdue activity, like activity that needs to occur. And so, you'll see some of the exclamation point ones probably pop up. And so if I hit apply filters, and sure enough, there are the two, both of these leads. It looks like you can kind of see I've got some overdue activity. So probably just for the sake of this example, I may have had some appointments and I never actually went in and put what happened on those appointments. So that's kind of a quick way that you can be able to decipher, the red exclamation point. Is it trying to tell me I've got leads that are about to expire, or is it telling me I've got overdue activity? Well, all you got to do is use the filter option and it will show you which one it is. And I can also have it show me leads that are currently expiring. I don't think I'm going to have many here for this example, but you can certainly do that as well. So, and you've even got some more additional options that should you choose, you want to filter your leads in a certain manner. Maybe you want it to show you leads that you have actually scheduled a call with, or maybe you want it to just show your leads that you have a scheduled meeting. That's the next activity that you've got scheduled with them, or maybe even show you the leads that you have scheduled a drop with. Okay, you've got other options there. You can also filter by a certain industry, should you choose to do that. And you can also filter by certain industry size. So, I might be coming in on a Friday, and maybe for whatever reason, I wanted to focus on one week to where, hey, I'm going to call I want to call all my new leads that are construction companies and have less than 50 employees. And I'll apply my filters, and it's going to show me everybody there. Okay, how many ever it may be. All right, so that's just an example, but you can kind of see, as far as filtering the leads, it's very simple. It's very common to other apps or other filtering things that you can use, whether it be like Amazon or, just anything that you've done. But the key is just play around with it, and don't let it overwhelm you. But I would also encourage you to make sure that you guys check out the filtering video for the mobile version, just because, again, the mobile version is much more up to date and very extensive and can be a lot more useful just from a sorting and filtering purpose. All right, so stay tuned for that, and then also make sure to join me for my next video where I talk about understanding your leads and your leads info. Excuse me.